Hello everyone and welcome to Victoria's Cantina. Today we're having a look at the Mattel DC Comics Multiverse Suicide Squad Batman. This is a revised version of the Batman v Superman Dawn of Justice 6-inch Batman that we looked at previously. This one has a tweaked paint scheme, an alternate head, and loads of accessories, which the original had none of. It didn't even have a single accessory. And there's actually two variants of this release for Suicide Squad. If you look here in the photo, you'll see that the packaging is slightly different. The logo on the one on the left is the black and white logo, whereas the logo on the one on the right is colored. The differences do not end there. The figures themselves are actually different as well. The initial version on the left has a paint scheme that is essentially the same as the Batman v Superman paint scheme, whereas the newer one has a slightly darker gray colored costume. In addition to that, the head for the revised version on the right is a little bit more movie accurate to the way Batman appears in these films. But that's not all. If you look at the head that has the little breather mask on it for when he goes underwater, I assume, the initial release looks to have a black apparatus, whereas the revised version has more of a gunmetal looking apparatus. There's also a very slight difference with both of the grapnel guns, but other than that, as far as I can tell, everything else appears to be the same. Packaging, as you can see, is the same DC Comics Multiverse look that we have been seeing since early this year. You got the same render of Batman on the bottom that we saw before, only this time they put the breathing apparatus on his face. Side of the box gives you a little peek inside. The opposite side shows us the same render as we see on the front of the box. And at the back, it shows us the Collect and Connect Killer Croc figure. Buy all of the figures and get a part in order to build Killer Croc. We also see other figures that are available in this line. We have already looked at Harley Quinn. At the bottom, you get the Mattel branding and the barcode, and it says visit MattyCollector.com. Okay, so as you know, if you watched my original video for the Batman v Superman 6-inch Batman figure, I wasn't that impressed with it. Coloration was just too light on his outfit. There weren't any accessories included, and the articulation just wasn't that great. So I don't have high hopes for this one, although we do see multiple accessories included this time, which was kind of the main driving force behind my purchasing of it. But I am looking forward to getting it open and comparing it to the older version and seeing just how they stack up. Alright guys and dolls, here's Batman out of the box, and same figure as before essentially. Let's go ahead and do the comparison right now. Let's just get it out of the way real quick. So here we have the Suicide Squad Batman, and then I'll go ahead and bring in the Batman v Superman Batman figure. And like I mentioned earlier, the suits are a little bit different in coloration. The first version of the Suicide Squad Batman looked more like that, whereas the revised version right there looks like that. If you want to make sure you're getting the newer one, you can do so by looking at the bottom of the boxes. The top one shows the date of the initial release, and then the bottom one shows the date of the updated release. So make sure you're getting that updated number. I really think that the darker color works a lot better. It's not quite as dark as the Batman Unmasked that we looked at from Toys R Us, but it's certainly an improvement. There's also less of a sheen to it than you get with the Batman v Superman version, which just doesn't make a whole lot of sense. So I really think that they improved it with this guy right over here. In addition to that, if you look at both of the heads on this figure, you will notice that there are some differences between the two. You will see that the original Batman v Superman version right here has a more textured looking cowl, whereas the later release is devoid of any sort of texture like that. It's just very smooth. I just think it looks more like the Batman we saw in Batman v Superman than this one. This one just has like eyes that are a little bit too big. It's a little more doe-eyed than you get with this newer one. That being said, there is a lot of paint slop on this version right here, as you can see, like around the skin part of his face, but it still looks better in my opinion than the original Batman v Superman version. Now, all along, I have kind of felt that the physique of this Batman is pretty good. I think Mattel did a decent job sculpting up the body, and the cape also looks pretty decent. All around, it's not too bad, but it's not outstanding either. Here's another close-up look at his head, and like I said, it looks decent. I think that this version definitely looks more like the film version of the character than the previous Batman v Superman figure did. The eyes are painted a little bit smaller on this one, which is good because it doesn't look too cartoony. The flesh bit there looks okay. Hint of a 5 o'clock shadow on his upper lip and on his chin, but the paint slop is a little bit unfortunate. So that's too bad. It's unfortunate that that sort of thing happens, but it does. It's too common. And the rest of the costume, really like that bat logo. It looks really nice on him. The texturing done to the costume looks quite good, looks pretty film accurate. I do wish that you could get his arms to go down more than that, but you just can't. The waist seems a little bit too stylized, like it gets a little bit too narrow down here, in my opinion. The belt looks pretty good, has some nice paint detail to it. Gloves look pretty nice. With the Batman Unmasked from Toys R Us, they actually did try and fix this so that you didn't see that joint as much by painting it black. But with this release, they did not do that. So it is a little bit of a step backwards. The knuckles, you can see, have the gold paint. The blades here, the gauntlets look pretty good. And legs look decent. Boots look pretty good. Nice texture to them. And some gold on them as well. And at the bottom, he's got his peg holes. Aesthetically, it's not bad. It could still be better. And here's hoping that going forward that they don't keep releasing this Batman figure again and again and again. Hopefully they do mix it up, adding at least a new cape or changing the arms just a little bit so he's a little more articulated. In terms of the joints that we do have, though, there is a ball joint here at the head, and it does get some movement with it. You can move it side to side. It goes up a little bit, goes down a little bit. He's got ball joints at both of these shoulders, and this is kind of weird. It looks like there's some stray plastic sticking out from him right there. Probably from the factory. Not quite sure if you can see that, but it's just kind of sticking out right in here. He's got his swivels here at both of the biceps. You get your bends at the elbows, swivels at the wrists. You get an ab crunch, which doesn't do a whole lot. There's no swivel at the waist. He's got the usual Mattel double-hinged hips right here, and he does a holy bat split, Batman. That's pretty good split. And you get swivels at both of the lower thighs. You get your bends at the knees, and then also bends at both of the ankles. Unfortunately, there are no rocker swivels at the ankles. In terms of accessories, I think is where this Batman really shines. You get this alternate head right here, which has the little breathing apparatus. It's a removable head, so what you want to do is grab the Batman figure and just kind of work the head off. It's very stiff. There it is. And then we'll go ahead and take the one with the breathing apparatus and just plug it in. Good grief, this is really tight. So there he is with the breathing apparatus, and it looks good. I mean, I think I'm going to have to see the film in order to determine how this comes into play or, what it is exactly. But I think it looks pretty good. I mean, just as an alternate head, it's very nice that they did that. I just wish it wasn't so hard to pull the other head off and to put this one back on. So I kind of think that after this review, I'm just going to leave him with the other head on because I don't want to mess with that, and I don't want it to break either. So you also get a grapnel gun, and this looks very similar to the Collect and Connect grapnel gun that we built with the Batman v Superman figures, and it's painted pretty nicely, got a nice metallic look, and you can stick it in his hand. Just like this. It's very rubbery. It's like super, super rubbery. And his wrists right here, or his fingers rather, are very, very stiff. I think that's going to be about as best as I can get, unfortunately. That's a letdown. I was really looking forward to that accessory, and I can't even get it in his hands because that's too rubbery and the fingers are too stiff, so go figure. You also get what looks like a gas grenade, and it's basically just painted black, very simple accessory. And does this fit in his hand? Yeah, that fits in his hand. And then you have 3 Batarangs. These look very much like the ones that came with the Nightmare Batman figure. Unfortunately, from the way they packed them, though, they're all bent like that, which is kind of strange. Very simple, black with some silver metallic paint. The Nightmare Batman did not have extra paint. They were just black. So it's nice that we get these. It's just kind of unfortunate that they're bent like that. And yes, he can indeed hold the Batarangs in his right hand. You're not going to get him in the left hand since it's completely closed off. You also get some handcuffs, which kind of have a bat motif to them. They're pretty rubbery as well, but they're not articulated. I guess if you wanted to put the cuffs on Harley, you could do that, and Batman can just take her into Arkham Asylum. You also get the Collect and Connect upper torso for Killer Croc. And again, I don't think I'm going to be buying all these Suicide Squad figures, but, never say never. So I'll hang on to this. Maybe one day, if I do, we'll go ahead and be able to build the figure. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, so there you have it. This is the Mattel DC Comics Multiverse Suicide Squad Batman. All in all, you guys, this is a very mixed bag. On one hand, it is an improvement over the Batman v Superman version because it has a darker costume. It's got the interchangeable heads, which are very hard to swap, but it has them. He's got loads of accessories, but on the other hand, he doesn't interact very well with those accessories. Not to mention the fact that the left hand is completely closed up, so you can't give him any of the accessories in that hand. The figure itself has a pretty good sculpt. Proportions aren't bad and look enough like what we saw in Batman v Superman and presumably in Suicide Squad. The articulation itself is merely okay. They should have taken this opportunity to give him proper ball-hinged knees and rocker swivels at the ankles because that would have enabled so much more posing options with the figure. At the same time, it is an improvement over the previously released version, though it is a little disheartening that they've already released this figure in this mold. I think this is the 4th time over the last year, starting with the original, which I think was a convention exclusive that came packed with Superman. So that is a little frustrating, especially if you just want to have one regular Batman figure and you have to keep buying them because they keep tweaking them. This one is probably the best version only because of the alternate head and all of the accessories that you get. But if you already have the original release, I don't think you absolutely need to go out of your way to get this one unless you're looking to trade up and upgrade because it is an improvement overall. Alright my friends, if you've enjoyed this video, then please like and subscribe. Be sure to follow me on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. And as always, I want to thank you for watching Victoria's Cantina. Till next time, my friends. Bye-bye.